Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. How is it going, my dear students? And in this presentation, we'll talk about social foundations of curriculum. And this foundation will be the last one. And as you know, in the previous presentations, we talked about philosophical foundations, historical foundations, and psychological foundations. Okay, when we say social foundations, what are social foundations mean? Social foundations of curriculum refer to the study of how society, culture, politics, economy, and community life influence the goals, content, and organization of education. So it has a direct relation with the community, with the society. Education is a social institution shaped by the values and needs of the community. So in this case, curriculum reflects cultural traditions, social norms, and national priorities. Let's have example about this point. You know, in our Palestinian curriculum, at secondary level, in one of the units, they put in the cover students, male and female, at secondary level going to school together. So as a committee, and Dr. Nazmi al-Masri at that time, one of the committee, sent to the designers that this picture doesn't reflect our tradition, doesn't reflect our culture. So you have to change it. Because in our community, students at secondary level, they didn't go to school together. I mean male and female students. And they changed this picture. So the curriculum must reflect the customs, the culture of the community. It draws knowledge from disciplines like sociology, anthropology, political science, and economics. The main focus: how can education serve society and how does society shape education? Okay, society, education, and schooling. Education can be used for constructive or destructive ends. It's like a weapon, has two-edged weapons, سلاح ذو حدين, to promote one type of political institution or ism. When I say ism, this means all, terms like connectionism, behaviorism, all these ends with ism or another. The kind of education our young receive determines the extent لأي مدى of freedom and equality within our society. The transmission of culture is the primary task of society's educational system. Society's values, beliefs, and norms are maintained and passed to the next generation, not merely by teaching about them, but also by embodying them in the educational system's very operation. Social and developmental theories. Okay, a number of theories focus on the global aspects of human growth and development because they emphasize the study of behavior as a totally starting with infancy. They combine gestalt psychology with socialization. Robert Havist identified six periods in human development: infancy and early childhood, from 0 to age 5, middle childhood, adolescence, early adulthood, middle age, late maturity. Developmental tasks are defined as the tasks the individual must learn for purposes of healthy and satisfactory growth in our society. A person must learn them to be reasonably happy and successful. So, a developmental task is a task that occurs at a certain stage or period in the life of that individual. Successful achievements, all of these lead to happiness and to success with later tasks, while failure leads to unhappiness, disapproval by the society, and difficulty with later tasks. A youngster's schooling is concerned with developmental tasks of early childhood and the next two periods of life. The phrase a youngster's schooling means the period of education from young, education during childhood and adolescence. It means that schooling helps the children accomplish the tasks of early childhood, middle childhood, which means elementary school or primary school, and adolescence. Okay, now look at the developmental tasks in these stages according to Habighurst. The tasks are as follows. Early childhood, learning to walk and talk. So from this age, 0 to age 5, no need to disturb yourself uh, with teaching the kids and the toddlers and the babies at this phase with big tasks. No, just learning to walk and talk, developing basic physical skills, learning to control bodily functions, toilet training, for example, beginning to form simple relationships, family bonds, play, learning to distinguish right from wrong, and beginning to develop a conscience. This is in this phase, just basics. But at the primary level, middle childhood, learning physical skills for games, coordination, strength, building wholesome self-concept, sense of self. He wants to express about himself or herself. Learning to get along with age mates, social skills, teamwork. They start playing football together or any teamwork activities. Developing fundamental academic skills, reading, writing, math, developing conscience, morality, and values. Adolescence at secondary level, or in some countries, preparatory with secondary, achieving new and more mature relations with peers of both sexes, achieving a masculine or feminine social role, accepting one's physique and using the body effectively, achieving emotional independence from parents and other adults. So in this phase, students start thinking how can they become independent? How can they depend on themselves? No need to be totally depend on their parents or community. What is moral teaching? What we lack these days in our communities, in Arab communities, or even Muslim communities, or in the world, moral teaching, education that develops values, ethics, and responsible behavior. It goes beyond academics and it prepares students for life choices, helps students become good citizens. This is the main point, how to become good citizens. كيف يصبح الناس مواطنون في خدمة مجتمعاتهم. Good citizens. Examples of moral teaching in school. Teaching on listening exams. Like these days, most of the students submit and present their exams online, so they depend on all their relatives, their siblings, their families, their parents. Group projects that teach cooperation, community services activities like volunteer work, classroom debates on fairness and respect. Moral character. We have moral character and we have performance character. You can read here all of these points. I mean, speaking about how to be a good citizen, focusing on moral, on ethics, on all good behaviors. In brief, moral character, doing what is right, connected with ethical values and integrity, traits like honesty, fairness, responsibility, caring. Example, student who refuses to cheat even if no one is watching. This is what we need in our community and our schools. To reach to this level of ihsan, which is the highest level of belief, of iman. Student who refuses to cheat even if no one is watching. We need a businessman, grocery, any job in our community that no cheating at all. We need how they put in the front of their eyes the fear of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This is what we mean by moral character and performance character, and both of them are essential and complete each other. Performance character, doing your best. Here the quality concerned with excellence and achievement. Traits like hard work, perseverance, discipline, examples, completing assignments on time. In brief, both moral character and performance character are essential for success in life and society. Why is school culture disengage students? Why some students hate their schools? You know why? Too much focus on tests and grades. Curriculum feels irrelevant to real life. No connection between what the students study and the real life. Low achievers receive little encouragement. Strict discipline, students feel controlled. As a result of the effects on students, students feel bored or disconnected. No passion at all. No passion. So how can our students be creative and initiative and they don't have passion and they feel bored or disconnected with their schools? Low achievers may give up or misbehave. No respect at the schools for them. They look at them as failure. Loss of motivation, interest in school, and self-confidence. They lost the hope, weak sense of belonging. So they feel they don't belong to this place. So this is one of the biggest challenges maybe you face in your future as a teacher. Why peers are important in adolescence? As you know, teens. When I say teens, teens اللي هي المراهقة, it starts from 13, 14 to 19. So they take the last part, the suffix of the word 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, and they call it teens or teenager. Teens seek identity and belonging. بدهم يشعروا بالهوية أو بالاستقلالية. Peer influence often stronger than adults. Friends give approval and self-worth. Peer group becomes central to daily life. Positive and negative peer influence. Positive, teamwork, study groups, sports. Negative, skipping classes, smoking, risky behavior. Peer influence can build or break character. Here we have principles for improving schools. You can look at this here. This is on page 162 to 163. You can have a look at them. Just I'm going to read the first two. The school has a clearly stated mission or set of goals. School achievement is closely monitored. So we have here 20, yes, points how to improve the schooling. Now this is the last phase before saying to you thank you and goodbye. Good manners. Now the letters here, and this is for all of you my students, and listen at this carefully please. The letter here next to good manners, this is by Japanese language. Good manners. In Japan, good manners is a textbook introduced in schools to teach students the proper way of behaving in society. Not in all countries they have such books. This book is essential, especially in some countries like Japan or in Southeast Asia or even in the West. Why? In some countries, they don't know the word of religion. This term is ambiguous for them. They know Confucius. Have you heard of Confucius? Study and read about Confucius if you don't have an idea about him. Thank you, my students. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.